After a few incidents at City Hall in Calgary, some folks have felt that City Hall has a double standard when dealing with Christians. Criminal charges and trespass notices are being doled out to believers who stand up to the mayor.
Can I ask you, sir, why on the record?
I spoke to you last week too about that same thing.
Can we just revisit that conversation, please? I will. I will. Can you say why, please?
I told you last week as well, based on the incident that happened at Seaton when you were at that event.
When he was violent, they threw him to the ground? That one?
I have nothing against that. Yeah. Nothing against what happened there. I'm just asking you based on that. Right, Derek? Appreciate it.
In recent days, we have seen the mayor threatening and demeaning Christians who heckle drag queen performers in front of children. Pastor Derek Reimer was arrested last week for doing just that. To see the whole story and to contribute to his legal fund, you can head to savepastorderek.com. And there was another incident last week at City Hall with the security team there and another pastor. Last week, Independence Party leader Pastor Artur Pawlowski was issued a trespass notice for warming up inside City Hall's building. Art was setting up for a press conference, and on the steps outside, according to Art, City Hall security knew what he was doing. The problem arose when he came inside the public municipal building to warm up from the bitter cold. Art fought with the city for years for the right to feed the homeless, unmolested by the government. According to Artur, a member of security began to raise his voice at him, telling him he is being trespassed for 30 days as he did not have permission to hold an event inside the building and that he had to leave. An argument broke out with Art and his brother David trying to explain what was really happening. The disagreement ended with the pair being given a 1-year trespass notice from their own City Hall. And just days prior, Pastor Derek Reimer was also thrown out of City Hall and told he was not allowed to be inside the building. According to Derek, when he questioned this, he was informed that it was due to his current involvement at a protest at an all-ages drag queen story hour at Seaton Library. The event the mayor insisted he be charged for. Here's a clip, and watch carefully. Derek might be prickly, but he was the victim of violence.
We are now calling the police. Stop. We have the police coming, so it is your choice to leave or deal with the police.
Now, is it the mayor's edict that you have to agree with her on the continuous issue of all ages drag events to access municipal facilities? Do we need to start worrying about our drag show social credit scores to go to the town hall now? In response to all of this, a few Christians had decided they were going to do a Bible reading inside of City Hall in protest of what they feel is discriminatory treatment towards them. It was going well until that same security guard spotted Derek and mentioned that he was instructed to kick the group out. The question is, were these orders coming from the mayor herself? We plan to find out. Another protester was also told he was trespassing after he had received a trespass notice days before for unintentionally playing music inside City Hall. Rafe Reason says he was pushed into the City Hall alongside others by LGBTQ and Antifa protesters when they had surrounded them, and he still had his music speaker playing. To find clarity in the chaos, Ray's main focus wasn't the music that was playing, but the safety of him and his daughter, which was alongside the group that was pushed in. At the Bible reading, after about another 5 to 10 minutes, police arrived alongside the security guards to remove the prayer group, resulting in 3 more notices for those accused of being associated with the thought criminal, Pastor Derek Reimer. What on earth is going on in Calgary if Christians cannot be Christians in the public square? My colleague Sydney Fizzard was able to put some questions in for the City Hall Bible study protesters to get their views on what went down. Check it out.
Sir, can we chat for a second? I'm happy to work with you and talk with you. I'm just curious what Seaton has to do with praying in City Hall.
It's just, we've been told, so this.
Do you think Calgary's municipality has a personal vendetta against you?
Yeah, it definitely comes across like that, where there's discrimination and people are being targeted. And like I was saying in my speech earlier, that anybody that disagrees with Gondek and her policies she's sending her goons after them, and you got to buckle up then. So we're just going to continue with our God-given callings and our convictions and doing His will. We're taxpayers. You know, we are in there twice in the last week and a half. Both times I was kicked out. Pastor Art has been kicked out. Like, we got to speak up and we got to push back against this, Calgarians, that this is not okay for anybody.
Anyone that has been following the story knows that the city of Calgary has a personal vendetta against me, but not just me, against other clergymen, other Christians, and anyone, quite frankly, that is willing to stand up and speak up against this tyrannical orders and mandates and restrictions that we have seen in the past 3 years. I mean, look at this. Look at this craziness. I just wanted to do press conference. I am a leader of the political entity here in the province of Alberta. I just want to be left alone and do my job.
I came down here to stand for our rights and freedoms that are being infringed upon over this last 3 years. It's disgusting to me what's been happening, and people have not been standing, especially the drag queen show that happened here in Calgary that Pastor Derek stood up against. And I think it's disgusting. We have what's happening to our children, the freedoms that are being taken away from Albertans. We need to rise. We need to stand against it. Enough is enough.
Do you have a reason to believe that City Hall and the mayor is actively discriminating against Christians?
Definitely. The evidence is everywhere. The whole province has been discriminating against Christians.
Absolutely. It shows by what happened last week when Pastor Arthur was here to do the interview as a member of a political party, an elected official on a public property. He has every right to do a press conference as he so chooses, like any other party does. He was asked to leave and given a 1-year trespassing notice, which is unacceptable in a province that claims to have democracy.
That's my job, communicating with the people that want to vote for a person like me. That's the definition of my job, and there is no better place than to do it right here inside City Hall. But now we can't, because I was barred for a year simply for trying to do press conference as a political leader, democratically elected. Unbelievable, shocking. I've seen this behind the Iron Curtain. I remember seeing that anyone that had a contrary view than the ruling party was ridiculed, attacked, barred, arrested, tortured on a regular basis. I believe we are living behind the Iron Curtain in China right now.
So if she's going to lash out at those who are protesting her policies, and among them stand Christians and street preacher Derek Reimer, then by default, her policies of cracking down on political protest, which mirror Justin Trudeau's comments that there is no place in Canada for public protests criticizing public policy, then by extension, Christians are going to be on that target. But make no mistake, the knock that is coming on the door for Art Pawlowski, Derek Reimer, that knock is coming for all of us, atheist, agnostic, Jew, Muslim, Christian. This is an authoritarian regime. You can wheel the camera in there and see the heavy police presence. Why? Because political protest has become a de facto crime in Canada at large under the administration of, happens to be Justin Trudeau, could have been some other lackey, and in the City Hall and in the city limits of Calgary itself.
And do you see a difference in treatment towards Christians between Calgary's previous mayor, Naheed Nenshi, and the current mayor, Jody Gondek?
There's not much daylight between Nenshi and Gondek. Let's not forget that Naheed Nenshi, unwittingly or wittingly, aligned himself with some of the rhetoric of National Socialism when he referred to the street preachers and the missions feeding the poor and made the statement, these are not people that need to eat. There's very little daylight between Nenshi and Gondek. Perhaps Gondek has brought a little more zeal and fanaticism to the assault on free speech.
I think they're both cut from the same cloth, to be honest with you. They don't have any backbone. They bend to the woke mob, and that's the problem. We need people that are willing to stand. We need people that are willing to speak and that they won't back down.
I think Gondek is Nenshi on steroids. So, you know, she's just a new iteration of Nenshi. And this pedophilic transgender drag queen ideology is happening in every jurisdiction all over the world. And Gondek isn't smart enough or interesting enough or creative enough to think of this on her own. So she's just getting her marching orders from on high.
And this woman, Gondek, she is acting like a mafia boss. Like literally, she is acting like a mafioso, using the law enforcement agents like her personal muscle. This is unacceptable in any free and democratic society. We have fallen very, very low. That's why I'm running for the position of the MLA in this upcoming election, because no one, not one politician from the UCP party is standing for us. No one is speaking. Where is Daniel Smith, the defender of our rights and freedoms? Where is Daniel Smith speaking against this clear abuse of power? Well, she's nowhere to be found. And that should concern you. Because if they can get away with this today, what is coming for you tomorrow?
Stay strong and stay free. For Rebel News, I'm Angelica Toy.
You can donate and help me at savepastorderek.com. I really appreciate Rebel News providing a lawyer for me, but if you also want to support me just individually as well, Derek Reimer at mission7ministries.com. You can learn more about the ministry at mission7ministries.com. Thanks so much. God bless, and please keep praying for me.